Zion's very functional and the guy we get excited about. You know, the problem is like I tell these guys, they don't seem to tell us when they're going to stay put and when they're going to motion and what formations they're going to give us. So that's just part of being a defensive player and a young player. There's just added, I guess, clutter and some of those things, and like most young guys. And he's probably on the plus side in terms of his ability to process and all those things. There's a big physical talent. It's really fun to see him. That body on the field there tonight. So we're just going to continue to press him, and I got to do a good job coaching him and get him ready. But very excited about Zion. Yeah.
What did Trojan show you? Did he maybe still have?
Yeah, I mean, I really highlight the linebackers last week. I mean, it's been a position we've talked about, just the kind of the injury bug and whatnot. And in those moments, you're just praying guys, step up and pray in a very personal sense. You are praying, but I mean, you're also rooting for them, and you're so badly. And I know we've had this conversation. Is the most disappointing thing as a coach is when a guy gets an opportunity and then they kind of miss on it. And I was pleased with his ability to get guys lined up. There's a lot for the linebackers. I mean, it's just in college football now. You're 20-some odd formations a game. There's so many moving pieces, and you mentioned safeties, but linebackers are the same thing. You're constantly in conflict, you're constantly talking. And so it's not just as simple as running downhill and taking on a fullback, like it would have been 20 years ago. So, for a guy to get an opportunity like that and kind of run the show and then, make some plays along the way, him and Shane, and obviously Shane has the experience where Rajon doesn't. But no, it was pleased with those guys stepping in.
How would you describe this year's Stanford offense compared to what we usually know with the Stanford offense?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is different. I mean, you're so used to the tight end component, and included in that probably be a fullback. And if you think about all the personnel groupings that you may have to create in order to defend some of the things that they've done historically with the McCaffreys of the world, the Lambs of the world, and everything else over a long time defending those guys. So certainly different that way. But kind of. When you're watching it, still the use of the tight ends and still use with the quarterback run game and stuff. I mean, they find a way to really stretch you in different ways. So no, it's certainly a different visual when you're watching it on game film. But and not to judge positive or negative, but Coach Taylor does a tremendous job. I mean, you talk about a guy that knows exactly what he's doing, and then from all packaging, also very similar to what Coach Shaw was. I mean, they have a very good idea of all the ways they're going to attack you. So we know it would be a big challenge.
What did you see from Ashton Daniels' first game film?
Yeah, I mean, when you're watching it, you see, obviously using them in the run game a little bit, which is now it's 11-on-11 football, and then that's something that, especially in some of the scenarios where you're saying it's not really the zone read component, it's literally like a sweep type of deal, and it's as we tell the guys, it creates scrums. It's not real clean. It's not a pretty picture. But if a quarterback's willing to get in the fray and kind of do some things that way, there'll be a linebacker and defensive back that's ready to mix it up a little bit too. But no, that's the ultimate conflict as we talk about it. It's making sure at any moment he obviously can throw the football, but you got 11 guys in the fit, so including corners and everything else. So no, I thought it was impressive on film. Took what the defense gave him from that standpoint. It was efficient and certainly willing to take shots as well. So. Like all quarterbacks, they get better every week just as they get game reps. So we'll see the next version of them compared to last week.
What was your assessment of the rush lane?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, pretty good. I mean, I think the quarterback gets a vote in some of those instances. So if you get him on the ground, I think we got him on the ground 5 times. You say it was a good job, and so and in fairness, I think certainly that it was. And then that's something that's a constant. That's never going to go away. You watch any college football game over the past weekend, and it'll be the same thing in NFL. The biggest difference between good offenses and great offenses is they for a quarterback to extend plays. And then obviously we see our version on Saturdays when we root for our offense, right? But no, I thought it was better. And the key for these guys is don't just be disruptive. You got to be productive. And it's not extra credit to get the quarterback on the ground. And, I think for everybody, though, defensively, between week 1 and as you go through the season, it becomes more commonplace to tackle that guy. For 8 months, you've been saying don't touch him. So, anyway, it's a constant work in progress, and another challenge this week.
What do you tell Tackett after targeting penalty? I know he's an aggressive player, but
yeah. I mean, I'd probably get it out of the system now and give him a good chance to coach him. There's no malice on his part. I mean, he plays the game a certain way, and so obviously you don't want to gear anybody back. In the same token, we got to be smart. It's a great visual for everybody, and making sure that you go the open path on people. And generally speaking, in any instance, we're saying certainly we don't want to go high. As a general statement, that's a good recipe for missing a tackle. There's a second or third guy in. Oh my goodness, wouldn't we want to punch the football? I myself violent uppercut a little bit better than violent. And I don't mean at the guy's face. I mean at the football. I got to preface that with tackle, but that's kind of understand how to finish play. I absolutely don't. That doesn't take away the attacking piece, but we obviously got to be smart. We can't lose guys like that.
Going into
Let's do one more.
Going into Pac-12 play, obviously this past weekend, the conference kind of showed, what kind of explosive offenses they have in Colorado and Washington. What's the challenge for the defense kind of going into this stretch, and where you see kind of the toughest tasks, I guess?
Yeah, I think across the board, and obviously quarterbacks. I'm sure they're all over the country. I'm not studying everybody, but I'm not sure there's a conference that probably stacks up top to bottom. And I mean, you can judge it by name recognition, but I actually think by turning on the film and watching it, guys that played a lot of snaps, generally speaking. I don't know, we reference one that's still a young prospect, but with maybe like a guy maybe lacks in experience and has the athleticism to kind of fix some things with his feet and everything else. So no, the days of they don't have one, it's not coming. So I think a lot of that speaks to. If you got a quarterback, you got a shot. If you don't, you're going to have some struggles. And so it seems like everybody in the conference has one. So fun to be a quarterback. All right. Thank y'all.